I made it. Hit the cut across the list. Good feeling. Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
What's on the ballot tomorrow? Anything for East Canton? Do you know?
There was only one issue that I'm aware of, and it was funding for SARTA.
Hey Kurt,
Yes.
not that it matters to me because I'm smart enough to know the computer's an hour behind, but it didn't update the time.
It did not?
It did not,
All right.
but it's okay.
I'll see it when we get done with it.
Okay.
What's that?
Sit. We need to sit.
All right, I'll call you in order. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Tom.
Here.
Luke.
Here.
Hines.
Here,
Snyder.
Here.
Carmen. Here. Hampton. Here. You want to receive the And also minutes. April 20th. Any amendments? Hearing none, minutes stand as approved. Takes us to public speaks. Gary, anything today? Very good. The it for public speaks takes us to committee reports. Administrator Boyle is not in today. He had personal obligation to attend, so I'll give his report. Under parks, the new men and women restroom signs have been ordered. I guess we've had some issues there, so we want to make sure we're properly identifying the restrooms. They put a new bridge in the one lower playground set that we've had some complaints about over the last couple of years, so they replaced that bridge, and they assembled and put up a new wheelchair swing at the park. As far as roads, replaced 80-foot of culvert pipe on the North Cedar beside TNT. We had the signal service company come out for the traffic lights. We were getting complaints from residents that the flow of traffic was not going well, particularly on the south side, Route 30. So we adjusted those lights to get traffic flowing better. It seems to be going better than what it was. So we'll keep monitoring that. The most important thing was just to get Henry in contact with that group because it's been a few years since they've been out. Main paving project has been completed. We scheduled asphalt patching for this week, weather permitting. We went around and assessed several catch basins and tried to rebuild them, but may look at replacement due to age. Would that be ongoing? As far as water, we had a meeting with the EPA, quick audit. 2 hours went well. There are a couple of things that were noted that the village is already working on remedying, but nothing that would be deemed serious or significant. Met with DL Supply about the water line problem at the tracks on South Burger. Most of you may know, but we had a water break underneath the track or close to. So we had to do that one repair. The railroad company basically stated that we needed to do a more extensive permanent repair. The cost of that repair would be upwards of $100K because I'm out of work. So it was proposed that we just dead end that line on the other side of the tracks. Met with the EPA, discussed that, and they gave blessing for that. So DL Supply are going to be looking at putting in basically a valve and whatnot. So under service, Brian is building a new basket that will be used for removing and installing flags downtown and also fixing traffic lines. That should be completed this week. Buildings, Village Hall is scheduled. The roof repair replacement is scheduled for this week, weather permitting. Looking at the weather, it may not happen this week, but it is scheduled. Zoning, we have had contact with the property manager of the apartments for the company that bought AIY. The roof on Worley has been fixed, and they're trying to keep up with the mowing, so they're making improvements. We'll just have to stay on that. We are aware that there are some properties in the village where mowing is not being kept up. Henry and I have discussed it, and he will be addressing that in the coming week. So, I do feel bad for this week, so there's going to be a lot of rain, but today would have been a perfect day. So, yeah.
Agreed.
Yep. So just so everyone's aware, any questions regarding service?
Do you have any updates on the cameras?
Cameras, very good question. So the cameras were originally supposed to be active with the testing on May 1st. I got a message and email from Trevor with, why can't I think of the name? Bear with me here. Mine went blank. Targeting Solutions, the group that we contracted with for the cameras. This was late last week. In which he informed me that he was having trouble with AEP getting the power hooked up. Asked for my support. Most recent update is that power should be hooked up by the middle of this week. So I didn't go check it today. I also reached out to him about status of postcards and the web posting. So waiting on that. And one thing after another.
Say if they don't figure it out pretty soon, I mean.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, we didn't push like to the bottom of the list or.
It's been,
I can't believe a company can stay in business like that.
yeah, it's been very frustrating. I was telling Councilman Baloo, we were talking a little bit before the meeting. I've bought capital equipment that has been delivered in half the time that 4 traffic cameras took to get delivered and installed. So I've expressed my frustrations, and I will continue to push to get this resolved in the coming week.
I told several people they were active last Friday, so maybe everybody will just slow down.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I do see some of them are out, it looked like. It's just not powered up, from my understanding.
Got a question. There's 2 houses in the Family Dollar parking lot back there.
Okay.
There's a tree that's
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, we already looked into that.
And-
Unfortunately, it's a private property thing. So we looked into it when it first fell. And maybe Solicitor Babbitt will have a different position than Solicitor Hall did at that time. But we were wanting to force the issue with the homeowner because the house is there. And then part of the tree, when it came out on the parking lots. We're like, look, somebody needs to take care of it. And we were told by Solicitor Hall at the time that the village had no legal standing to force the rest for the tree to be taken down and cleaned up.
Those are both rental properties?
I am not sure if they're rental properties or not, but
And they have excuse me,
yeah,
they have a pool with a ladder in the pool. I don't know if there's any water in there, and there's no fence around it.
right. I remember seeing
And
the
look-
pool in the past.
I mean, there's couches back there.
Yeah, we can look at that.
I mean, I didn't notice it till I went
Right.
to the drive-through at the bank.
So Solicitor Babbitt, so essentially the tree, it looked like it snapped, but it's still up halfway connected, but it's dangled down to the ground. It's sizable, the section that snapped. But this has been brought up, like I said, over a year ago, because it's been something that's been discussed openly. Because we wanted to kind of force the homeowner's hand to cut it down, clean it up. And we were told we had no legal standing to do so.
I think the address
It could be
is
something like making a low.
Yeah,
Yeah, so if it's purely on private property, then that's correct.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do. If it constitutes a nuisance, being a threat to health, safety, or welfare of the residents, we could argue that it constitutes a nuisance. If it violated any of our zoning or building codes, which it probably doesn't, you could cite them under that. And then separately, the only other option is for the village to adopt a village-wide ordinance governing downed trees that would say no resident shall allow a downed tree to be present on their property for so many days. I think you could do that, kind of like noxious weeds. But as it stands, there's no independent authority for us to enforce it.
I think if that house is a rental, yeah, because I had Henry look at some stuff there a couple years ago. Let's face it, he's got like Sanford and Son happening in his backyard there. So I'd asked Henry to take a look to see if there was any legitimate violations. I don't know that he ever got around to it, but at the same time, if it's hanging over in the parking lot, it is a safety issue.
Yeah.
If we could secure permission from the owner, I could take care of that limb, as far as getting rid of it.
yeah, it's a pretty big one. Did you see it?
Yeah.
It's sizable.
I
I just
was-
worry about trying to get it out of the tree. You know what I mean? That's my
No,
biggest
I
worry.
was a tree trimmer,
Yeah.
old school for a number of years, so I'm pretty confident I could do it. If worse comes to worse, I'll just throw a chain around it, drag it out into the parking lot.
Right.
So, but the thing is, you need to get permission from the landowner.
And that would likely also be purely private. If you independently wanted to go and
Right,
say,
the village wouldn't have really anything to do with
yeah.
it.
because we don't want to be involved in if not that it would happen to you, it would happen to me. If I went up there trying to take the tree
All
down.
right, great. So that-
Something happens and I'm acting within the scope of my employment, and then it falls to the village.
So,
But I will look into the swimming pool, because I do remember seeing it in years past. I didn't see it, maybe it's because the tree was in the way last year.
I didn't see the ladder until I went past there twice.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
It's not fenced,
Yeah.
definitely not
I
fenced.
understand.
that fella's been parking, I think he's got like a Suburban,
Mhm.
and he's been parking it in the yard in such a way that you can't see all the crap that's back
I
behind
mean,
there.
there's couches, I couldn't
So-
even tell you what, both of those. There's two houses.
Okay.
I was told they were rental property, but I don't know.
If you go on to Google Maps, and you know how you can look back in the street view history?
Yep.
It was really nice, probably 10 years ago, but with the passage of time, you can see how things have,
I think there's spoutings hanging in the front.
Okay.
and-
Yeah, we'll look at it. We have a couple other properties. There's one on Noble, that you can see their backyard is just not too good. Let's just put it that way.
Just
I
don't know
mean,
how people live with that. Holes in their roofs and
Mary, you said that tree snapped a year ago?
oh, it's been over a
Oh,
year.
yeah.
It's been over a year.
Well, that's not the most important thing in the world. Why has it taken a year to enforceably address it?
There was nothing before that I could use to address it. So unless council wants to adopt something, there's still nothing I can do to address it. We sought the advice of our solicitor, and he advised us that we had no legal standing to address. So that's where we left it. Council wants to look at adopting the fallen tree. That's fine, but until then, we can't legally do anything.
I think it's worth exploring, because we got more than one tree in this place.
Who's ever in charge of that is gonna be very busy.
That would probably fall to zoning.
Yeah, but, All right, anything else for service? All right. The Chief had a family emergency, so I'll give the report. There were 265 calls for service, 40 traffic stops, 2 motor vehicle accidents, 2 thefts, 122 extra patrols, 58 security checks, 2 suspicious vehicles, 5 assists to other agencies, 3 animal complaints, 3 business alarms, 5 traffic details, 2 traffic hazards, 1 neighbor dispute, 1 breaking and entering, 7 follow-ups, 1 ATV complaint, 1 unwanted person, and 10 other. That was the report out. I will say that we are getting an increase in the amount of loose dogs. So I'd like to remind residents that they cannot let their beloved family pets run unleashed in the village. One case we're actually to the point where one individual has 2 citations pending in front of mayor's court this Wednesday. So
Oh my.
we do take it seriously, just for the safety of our residents and whatnot. The officers aren't just handing out citations. I mean, this person was warned. I just wanted to make it known that, this isn't something we just turn our head to and ignore, so.
I ran into a lady last week who had 2 golden retrievers on leashes. She was walking them. And she said, the weather's been so bad, I haven't been able to walk them. I'm going to go up behind the school, take them off leash and let them run around. And I said, you do know there's a leash law
Yeah,
in the village? And she said, not back there. And I said, oh, I think it's in the whole village.
Yeah.
I didn't know what else to say to her,
right.
except that, I wasn't going to call the police on her, but I thought, why do people think that, and how do you respond to that?
Yeah, there's really nothing you can say. I mean, the thing is if it was a one-time thing, usually, the PD would just give a warning, like, hey, you have to have your dogs on a leash. This individual has been a few times, more than a few times over the past, I think this dates back into last year. So it's just to the point where it's obvious that it wasn't, talking wasn't getting through. So other actions are being taken, but I just want to make everyone aware. Anything else for safety?
Oh, I do have a question. If you recall, there was a Public Speaks lady in here talking about the extra patrols.
Mhm.
Has that been any more dissected, what constitutes that to go into that category, as opposed to what the public thinks and as opposed to what the police department does?
Solicitor Babick did look into that. I think he read out some of the language that night. Essentially, the extra patrols, we have a set number of patrols as a PD that we run daily. That is our set standard. When we bring in, whether it be extra officers or whatnot, we will run extra patrols through the village just as, I don't want to say welfare checks, but just extra visibility.
Mhm.
So those are above and beyond the standard patrols that we have defined as a minimum requirement for the village daily. And that's what constitutes the extra patrols that are listed. Anything else for safety?
Did we get the new GPS system?
GPS system, yes, it is in. I believe I was talking with Chief about that last week. I believe it's, trying to remember status. I don't want to mislead anyone. But I know last week he said they were working through it. And we just, Kurt just signed the agreement for the extension of the Trackstar for the service vehicles. So that is done. I'll get you an answer exactly what the status is of the other system. Takes us into judicial.
Okay, tonight we have ordinance number 2026-09. An ordinance to revise the rules, regulations, practices, and/or procedures governing water account management, billing, and collections.
That's the second reading. Yeah, second reading.
Was,
Yeah, just do it by title only.
Yeah.
Bob.
okay, second reading then.
That's what
Well, that was the title, so, so moved.
Second.
Roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Baloo.
Yay.
Yay.
Snyder.
Yay.
Carmen.
Yay.
Hampton.
Saving the third reading for another meeting? Okay. And that's it for judicial.
Okay. Takes us to grants. Anything for grants?
Since we're basically in a waiting mode to see how much of this grant from Representative Ruley's office will be awarded to us, I'm going to draft a letter to Representative Kishman down in the Capitol. He was kind enough to give us a letter of support. And I'm thinking that he would have a more streamlined method of finding applications for grant matching funds. So I'm in the midst of drafting a letter for that, asking him to, if he has any thoughts on the matter. Another thing that occurred to me is part of this project is there's a pipe out behind the stadium that supplies water for the school and for residents in that area. And it's in bad shape, and it's part of what this project's about. Well, should that fail, not only would the school run dry of water, but the stadium and our new facilities there would also. As a result, I thought it might be a good idea to reach out to Mr. and Mrs. Fultz to see if they would care to donate some amount to this matching fund. I'm only about halfway drafting through that letter. When it's complete, I will approach them about that, see if they have any thoughts on the matter, or if they have the means to help out. Even just a little bit means a lot. And that's pretty much all I have for grants right now.
Takes us into finance.
We have a kind of large balance, so I thought I'd explain one of the charges. We did paving last week with North Star, and that total was paid at $78,180, so that's why this one's pretty large. Make a motion to approve invoices in the amount of $110,430.60.
Second.
Roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Baloo,
Yay.
Hines,
Yay.
Schneider,
Yeah.
Garmin,
Yeah.
Amstutz.
And I make a motion to approve payroll from 4/5/26 to 4/18/26, the amount of $26,363.41.
Second.
Roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Baloo,
Yay.
Hines,
Yay.
Schneider.
Yay.
Garmin.
Yeah.
Amstutz. Officer Geis presented the permanent appropriations report in the agenda. Anything else for finance? Takes us to other.
I do have a question, and we may have discussed this and I forgot. What happens if we don't get the matching funds for that grant?
I think as a village, we'd have to look long and hard at that. I think if you have the federal government saying we're gonna give you $800,000, if you can come up with 200,000, I think we gotta look long and hard to come up with that 200,000. That's just my opinion. I'm not counsel. I don't decide where money is being spent.
Well, that's why between now
Yeah.
and this fall, it's important
Yeah.
to stay on the game and try to find some more funds.
Yeah.
Whether they're from the state or from private funding. I'm even thinking about seeing if there's any municipal entities in the area that might have a better take on matching funds. Louisville just finished up their big fire station project. I'm sure that the government didn't pay for all that.
They paid for that out of their general fund. They had the money to build that.
Oh, so they
They didn't have to
financed
borrow
the whole
anything.
thing.
They
Wow.
Yep. They
Would
had
we
the
be
money.
denied the grant?
What's that?
Would we be denied the grant?
You would, but you go to OWDA and you get a loan for the 200,000.
Right.
That's what you do. Same thing we did for the water tower.
I would really rather not do loans if we didn't have to. So if there's free money out there, I'm sure me and Mrs. Riggs will be able to find some portion of it.
Malvern did almost their entire water system down there. So it could be a group to reach out to.
Okay.
They got a lot of grants, but I'm sure that they had some matching they had to do. So maybe, but they did almost their entire water system.
Okay.
This was several years back, but All right, we had presented the mayor's court report for April. Total collected for the month, $3,387, which breaks down as follows. 1,266 in fines, 1,457 in local costs, and 664 in state costs. Any questions about the mayor's court report? Anything else for other?
Did we get any update on the dump down there?
That is a good question. I did not see any.
I'm working on a demand letter to them.
Okay.
It'll be pretty extensive, laying out the potential claims.
And how about the little baby that died? Is there,
That's still pending investigation. Yeah.
I was told they moved out. Is that true?
I could not tell you either way, to be honest with you. I do not.
Several people told me that. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. No. Anything else for other? Request a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yay.
Hines.
Yay.
Schneider.
Yay.
Garmin.
Yeah.
Amstutz.
Do you know the mayor in Melbourne? Do you know the mayor in Melbourne?
Well, that's the.
Just give me a couple hours to give him a call and let him know that we have his phone number. He won't care, but.
He's the mayor.
Yeah,
I'll let it roll.
he sure is.
I'm assuming that's a different Bob DeLong than what I'm
It's
familiar with.
Junior.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are they gonna
I've
read that thing up there?
had dealings with him.
Yeah. This is his son. I'm with, they're very good friends.